if a brother would like to marry, fi sabilillah, but he is in his studies now and with a part-time job, he can almost provide. Is it good for him to marry or should he wait? Because a sheikh said that the best age to marry is now, even if he has no money and so on. Because with his wife, the risk will come faster. Al-Razak will give them risk. Without a wife, it's coming soon. So no matter in what situation you are, if you have the opportunity, you should marry now. So what advice will you give?
This is not a wise advice, Akhi. And unfortunately, so many people give generic answers without knowing the background of the people asking him. So if someone comes to me and asks me, is it best time to marry? I say, yeah, go ahead and marry. And end up in 6 months' time finding that the brother had married, has loans, is unable to provide for his wife, she's pregnant, and he's under huge amount of stress, and he divorces her. Then he comes and blame me. You're the reason. You told me to get married. Generally speaking, yes, marriage is good, but we have to look at the circumstances. This individual who's interested in marrying, he's studying, he's working, is he capable of providing for his wife, renting a house, paying the bills, without borrowing and lending from and borrowing money from others? If the answer is yes, then inshallah, go for it. But if there is some financial constraints, and that would cause problems in the future, if his wife is demanding or she has health issues and he cannot afford to help her or to provide for her financially, then we would say that maybe you would wait a little bit, 6 months, or at least make it clear to them that this is what I can provide. And if they're willing to go for it, alhamdulillah, they accept it willingly and wholeheartedly. But to jump into the ocean without knowing how to swim, you can't blame others for drowning. You're the one who jumped. So generally speaking, yes, getting married early is one of the best things you can do. And set aside what people say about age limit. So a boy cannot get married if he's under 21. Who said so? This is man-made law. This is kafir law. Muslims know better. And we have evidences in a society and an environment where you put fuel next to the fire and you pray to Allah, it does not ignite. It can't be. When you put men and women together at schools, in workplaces, in entertainment and in sports facilities, not abiding by the hijab or by the Islamic rulings of segregation, and then you say, let's hope they don't get involved in relationships or wedlock or even get pregnant. What do you see in the West? Go to any country in Europe, show me one single country that is modest or they have no problem compared to Arab countries and Muslim countries, where the ratio is way, way negligible and can't be compared. So Islam gives you the right system because it's from the one who created us and he knows us inside out. He told us the best system that would maintain our decency and to preserve our modesty. The people in the West and the East don't want this. They want orgies. They want freedom for all. Whether you're a boy or a girl, or transgender, whatever you want to be. You want to be a bird? Be my guest. This is all what their countries and societies revolve around, and this is why Allah is inevitably going to make them face their worst fears because they went against His ruling. So marrying early is good, but you can't have one size that fits all. We have to look at each and every case to be able to judge this, and Allah knows best.
One of the most common questions young Muslims ask today is this: should I get married now, even if I'm not financially stable yet? And the reason this question keeps coming back is because many people hear general advice like, just get married and provision will come, or do not wait too long because marriage itself brings blessing. And while those statements may sound inspiring, the real question is this: can general advice be applied to every individual situation? This is where many people get confused. Because on one hand, yes, marriage is good, marriage protects a person. Marriage brings stability, responsibility, and in many cases, blessing. An early marriage can be one of the best decisions a person makes, especially in a time when temptation is everywhere. But on the other hand, marriage is not a slogan, marriage is not a quote, marriage is not just a romantic idea. Marriage is a responsibility, it is a contract. It is a commitment that affects two people, and often an entire family after that. That is why this answer is so important. Because it breaks the dangerous habit of giving simple answers to complex lives. A lot of people today speak about marriage as if one sentence should solve everything. Someone asks, I'm still studying, I only have a part-time job, I can barely provide, should I get married? And immediately some people reply, yes, go ahead, do not worry, provision will come. But what if that person gets married and then after a few months, real life begins to hit, bills start coming, rent becomes difficult, financial pressure grows, the wife has needs, there may be health issues. There may be emotional stress. Then maybe a child comes into the picture. Suddenly the situation is no longer theoretical. It is no longer a beautiful statement shared online. It becomes a real-life burden. And this is exactly the point that needs to be understood. It is easy to give brave advice when you are not the one carrying the consequences. It is easy to tell someone else to jump when you will not be the one falling. But Islam is a religion of wisdom, not emotional slogans. It is a religion of guidance, balance, and justice. And justice means looking at each case properly, not forcing everyone into one answer. Generally speaking, getting married early is good, and that is important because in today's world many people delay marriage for the wrong reasons. Some delay it because of unrealistic cultural standards. Some delay it because they think they need to become completely rich first. Some delay it because society has created artificial age barriers and man-made expectations. So yes, there is a real problem today where marriage has been made harder than it should be. But the answer does not stop there. Because while early marriage is good in general, it does not mean every person in every condition should rush into it without thinking. That is where wisdom comes in. The real question is not only, is marriage good? The real question is, am I currently able to carry the responsibility of marriage in a way that does not create greater harm? And that is a mature question. Because marriage is not only about wanting companionship, it is also about being able to provide basic stability. It is about being honest with yourself and with the other person. Can you afford housing? Can you pay bills without drowning in debt? Can you provide food, basic living, and necessary care? If difficulties come, do you have at least enough clarity and honesty to communicate what you can and cannot do? This is where many people make a mistake. They think the only two options are either wait forever until everything is perfect, or jump in blindly and trust that everything will work out. But real life is not that black and white. Islam does not teach recklessness. Trust in God does not mean abandoning wisdom. Reliance does not mean ignoring reality. Real trust includes effort, planning, honesty, and responsible decision-making. And I think this part is extremely important for young men to hear. Sometimes there is pressure from society, pressure from desire, pressure from friends, and even pressure from religious talks that make a person feel guilty if they are not rushing into marriage immediately. But guilt is not guidance. Panic is not wisdom. You have to ask yourself serious questions, not emotional questions, serious questions. Am I ready to take care of another person? Am I able to handle financial pressure without collapsing? If my future wife needs something important, can I realistically provide it? If she agrees to a simple lifestyle, am I being honest about that from the beginning? And if the answer is no, then perhaps the right step is not to reject marriage entirely, but to prepare for it with wisdom. That preparation matters. Because sometimes 6 months can make a difference. Sometimes a year can make a difference. Sometimes the issue is not that the person should never marry now, but that they should first become more stable, more honest, more responsible, and more clear about what they can offer. That is not weakness, that is wisdom. Marriage is not a race. It is not a slogan. It is not an online quote. It is one of the most serious and beautiful responsibilities a person can take. And serious responsibilities should be entered with clear eyes, not just hopeful words.